Grabbing the boards like, I'ma go coast to coast. I'm on beats like do-si-do. They don't wanna go toe-to-toe. Step into my court, you get put in the poster. We ain't talk to nobody if you ain't with the smoke. Run up on me, watch your ankles get broke.
Yo, what up, it's your boy JDMC and we back with another video. Today I'm just gonna go through some more free agency updates. I think the last one I did was day 3 and 4. So I'll do most of the important stuff that's happened in days 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10, I'm pretty sure. And also I've got some information on next season updates, like pre-season protocols to do with the whole COVID situation. So yeah, let's just get straight into it. As well, I'm disappointed. I was checking my YouTube stats, and I think it's something like 97% of people who have watched my videos recently are not subscribed. That is disgusting. I don't like that. If you watch my videos, if you love the NBA, make sure to subscribe, show your support. I'm going to keep making these videos going into the season to keep you guys updated and to give my opinion on certain things. So make sure to subscribe. We're on the road to 1K, so join the journey. And yeah, let's get straight into it. So we'll start off with, this has nothing to do with free agency or the season starting, but Jake Paul got absolutely rocked by, Nate Robinson, got absolutely rocked by Jake Paul. I wanted Nate to win, of course. I'm a bit of a KSI fan, so I really wanted Nate Robinson to put Jake in his place a bit, and also as an NBA fan, I wanted Nate to do it for us, but he talked a lot. He said that this is for the culture, this is for the NBA family, that he's going to prove he's one of the greatest athletes ever, and more power to him, but I just think Jake's experience and size came into play, but yeah, let's not talk too much about that. Bowman has signed a deal with the Clippers, but he will have to fight for a roster spot in training camp. I do think he's a good guard. They do sort of need that playmaker stuff, but I don't think he's really what they needed in terms of like that Rondo or something. But he could help. I think he averaged like 7-something points last year for the Warriors, and he's still quite young. So that's a good pickup for the Clippers, especially because they haven't wasted a spot on him yet. They're just bringing him into training camp. Thompson has had his surgery and it was successful. He will make a full recovery. It's been reported by Woj. Obviously, I'm not sure about the timeline still. I think it's still looking like he's not going to play the whole year, but that's good news, at least to hear that the surgery went well. So let's all wish Clay a speedy recovery. Hassan Whiteside has signed a 1-year deal with Sacramento. Tell me if I'm wrong. Leave a comment if you disagree. Is he really underrated? I like the guy, and he put up like a career numbers with wasn't he top 3 in blocks, top 3 in rebounds? I have heard that he plays for stats a lot, that he's more worried about getting his 3 blocks a game than he actually is about winning, or sometimes he leaves defensive assignments just for his own benefit. But I do think he's still a really solid player, and I think he was one of the bigger names that was still left on the market. So I think that's a little dub for Sacramento to get him, and I'm assuming it's probably just like a veteran's minimum or something. Noah Vonleh goes to the Bulls. He actually played for the Bulls before. I think it's just a 1-year contract. I was looking up his on Basketball Reference about him and where he's played before. He's actually been passed around a lot. I still think he's a decent player, but yeah, let's see what he can do on the Bulls, I guess. Nick Stauskas has signed a 1-year deal with Milwaukee. Like I've said about every guard that Milwaukee signed after the Bogdan situation, it's a plus because they needed to fill in those spots. He's still a great shooter. He was the 8th pick in the draft a few years ago, I think for the Kings, right? But yeah, I'm sure his contract's not too big, so might as well put him in to fill up that 10 to 12 sort of roster spot. Kostas Antetokounmpo signs another 2-way deal with the Lakers. Again, this is nothing major, but as a Laker fan, it's good to bring him back. Just yeah, fill one of those two. You get two-way spots, right? I think we've used both of them now. I can't remember the first one off the top of my head. Sorry. Oh, it's that Kakuk dude. But yeah, shout out to Kostas. Good to have you back, man. Frank Kamitsky has signed a 1-year deal with the Sacramento Kings. Again, I think the Kings are making nice little moves. They did lose Bogdan. I had heard last season that Buddy Hield wasn't the happiest. He did have an average start and played better off the bench. But now without Bogdan, I think you'll start Buddy Hield, obviously, right? And bringing in Whiteside, bringing in Frank Kamitsky, who's, 7-footer, who can shoot, stretch the floor. He can play 4 or 5. So, yeah, the Kings probably will still maybe not make the playoffs. Sorry, Kings fans. But, they've still got a nice little team and still a solid young core. JJ Barea signs a 1-year extension with the Mavericks, and it's a $2.6 million deal, I think, which is just the veterans minimum, right? So he's back for the Mavericks. That's just good for team morale. He's a champion. He's the LeBron stopper, as we all know. So with Luka and KP, it's good to have his veteran experience in the team locker rooms and stuff like that. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist has signed a 1-year deal with the Knicks. He's still a solid player. Still needs to improve the jump shot a little bit, but he's a really good defender. yeah, going to the Knicks doesn't mean too much. Sorry, Knicks fans, but yeah, more power to kidd-gilchrist. Thonmaker signed a deal with the Cavaliers. I still think he has a lot of upside. I still think he needs to fill his body out a bit more and just get a bit more NBA ready. But he's really skilled. He's really tall. If he gets put in the right situation, I think he could thrive and he could be a solid player. If that's a role player, or if he can even become a starter one day. So yeah, shout out to the Cavs for grabbing him. Nicholas Batum will sign with the Clippers after he clears waivers with the Hornets. So again, this is nice for the Clippers. They're filling out that roster now. They still need that backup playmaker, in my opinion, and I think in most people's opinions, even Clipper fans' opinions. But he's a good wing player, Nicholas Batum. Obviously, he's not getting that huge contract anymore. He's just getting a veteran's minimum. So he's a good sort of backup wing player behind the Kawhis and the Paul Georges. And Boston has signed and traded Gordon Hayward and 2 future round second picks to Charlotte for conditional future second round pick. Celtics also receive a trade exception, and I have a Celtics mate, shout out to Kahan. He sent me an article just to sort of help me understand this trade exception a bit more. I haven't fully wrapped my head around it, but pretty much the Celtics have a year now to use the trade exception. It's 28 point something million, but since they've hard capped with Jeff Teague and Tristan Thompson, they can only utilize about 21 or 22 million of it. So what they can do is they could trade a player on their team who only makes 2 mil, and they could get back a player who makes 24-ish mil, you know? So that could be really big for them. I think they'll have to use it wisely. I know a lot of Celtics fans on Twitter and stuff seem a bit sad that they didn't get Miles Turner and that they asked for too much out of that trade when they could have got Miles Turner. But then I also see a lot of Celtics fans saying that he's overpaid and that they're happy they didn't get him. I think I would have liked to see him there. I think his play style and his age range fits what the Celtics got going on. But yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on the Celtics because they can utilize this trade exception. And I think this is like the biggest trade exception in like history. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what the article said. So this is good news for the Celtics to not just lose Gordon Hayward for nothing. And the 2020 NBA preseason will begin on December 11th and run through to December 19th. Sorry. The next slide is a schedule of all the preseason games. I'm assuming we won't see too much stars play. We'll see them on extremely restricted minutes. Because I feel like LeBron and AD were playing like a few weeks ago in the NBA Finals. So I don't think they're going to be in a rush to play 20, 30 minutes in a preseason game. So yeah, let's look at the schedule. If you want, just pause the video and you can have a proper look. I'm not going to sit here and talk all about this. But I've noticed that the Clippers and Lakers play, I think, twice. And then the Lakers go on to play Phoenix twice. I think, looking at it roughly, I think every team pretty much plays 2 other teams. So, and I think twice, I think it's 4 games in total for each team. But pause the video and have a look at that if you want. But I'm going to move on. As NBA organizations begin daily coronavirus testing this weekend and prepare for the start of training camps next week, teams were issued a 134-page health and safety protocol guide for the season. And now the NBA is trying to utilize this outside of a bubble. My concern was like, what if someone catches the virus? What happens? How do they deal with it? Like, what would need to happen for the season to get stopped or suspended, you know? Because it seems a bit like risky, you know, to not have it all in a bubble. But then this came out. Under the circumstances for cancellations of the 2020-21 season, NBA says occurrence of independent cases, i.e. cases not spread amongst players or team staff, or a small or otherwise expected number of COVID-19 cases will not require a decision to suspend or cancel the 2020-21 season. So what it pretty much seems like is if cases come out, if something happens within the NBA community or outside it, and it affects it, they're pretty much just going to deal with it and improvise. They're not going to stop the season or suspend the season if a couple players get it. I think that's what that's sort of meaning. And then Tim Bontemps, don't know who that is, but Woj retweeted him, so we'll respect his source. Also noteworthy, there is no criteria listed for what would cause the league to have to suspend the season. Clearly, this is going to be something the NBA will be adjusting to as the season progresses, as we've seen in both the NFL and the MLB did over the past few months. So yeah, pretty much they're saying is they're just going to play it by ear. They're going to deal with the situations as they happen. Their goal is to not suspend the season. There's no guidelines for what would have to happen to suspend or cancel the season. So yeah, we just got to, as NBA fans, we just got to hope that everything goes as smooth as possible and there's not too much implications so we can see our basketball again. And there's also an anonymous hotline to report COVID violations during in-market play. So pretty much there's just a number you can call if you're a player and you want to snitch up on someone. We'll call it the 6ix9ine line. But yeah, that's it for the video. Like I said at the start, make sure to subscribe, make sure to like and comment, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. It looks like the NBA season is, you know, really picking up now. Free agency is nearly over. We pretty much know what 80% of the team's rosters are looking like, so I'm really excited. Make sure to subscribe for more NBA content, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.